Want to get your business in front of real sports fans? The Fade Route with D and Z reaches over 1,000 listeners every month. We drop fresh episodes every week and stay active on social media so your brand doesn't just get heard, it stays top of mind. Ooh. Local, loyal, and ready to spend. That's our audience. Are you ready to be part of the in crowd? Yes! Let's talk about how we can increase your foot traffic or get people to visit your website. Email us today and or message us on our socials so we can find the best packages for you. You can hit us up at faderoutemail@gmail.com and find us on our socials at Fade Route Podcast. Time to run the go route and talk to you next week.
Coming at you from the AO Studios, it's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Coming at you live from the AO Studio.
Ayo.
It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we got a great show for you tonight.
Yes, we do.
We got Bill Belichick getting his doors blown off to open up his season. We have a sprint as the Major League Baseball comes to an end. And Arch Manning, Notre Dame, and Alabama all lose. So we begin today's show with the Micah Parsons trade. Dallas is sending premier pass rusher and one of the best defensive players in the league to Green Bay for some picks and a defensive tackle. Sozy, what does this mean for Dallas and what does this mean for Green Bay?
Well, from the Dallas standpoint, I believe the phrase you're looking for is back up the truck. Back it up. They're not hiding it, man. They're not hiding the fact that they ain't going to be good this year. They're just not going to be good. They reallocated the funds that they were trying to negotiate with Micah Parsons, and they already paid Deron Bland, which is good because Deron Bland's a very good player. You still have a couple pieces on here, right? Like, maybe Diggs can return to form. You have CD. Cupboard's kind of bare. The cupboard's absolutely bare. And there's a reason why you end up with Brian Schottenheimer.
George Pickens, right?
Oh, yes, George Pickens. How can I forget George Pickens? Yeah, like, not much there. Like, Pickens is fine. Not great. Like, he's not a needle mover.
Contract year for him.
Yeah, so maybe he'll ball out. But this team, I don't see them pressuring the quarterback without Micah Parsons. I don't see them, he did have 12 sacks. He was fifth in the league. He was tied for fifth, 12 sacks last year, 2 forced fumbles, 30 solo tackles. Like, he's a presence. He's a disruptor. Right? And if there was a position called disruptor, like, Micah Parsons would be that guy. What gives me a little bit of pause about this from the Green Bay perspective is that he already had to have a back injection. He's already injured. So, yes, he signed his contract. Yes, he's going to try and play on Sunday. But I'm wondering if I'm getting a little bit of damaged goods at this point. So, on paper, this has potential to seal the NFC for the Packers. We are high on them. We both have them winning their division, right? You get rid of Kenny Clark, who's a decent player. You replace him with a guy in Micah Parsons. Now there's a guy who can be a game changer on defense, right? I'm not going to invoke the name Reggie White, but that's what the Packers are hoping for when they bring in a guy like Micah Parsons. You're hoping for Reggie White. The fact that he's already hurt is kind of bugging me. Mm-hmm. But they definitely have enough to still contend. Now, if Micah Parsons can get healthy, those expectations are still back on. And for me, as far as Dallas goes, this is just hastening the inevitable. Like, I'm already on record saying Dak's going to get traded. It's a question of when, right? This team's going to be the drizzling shit. It's kind of hard to imagine anything other than that. So it's a whole lot of nothing for the Cowboys. And, Jerry can talk all that shit he wants about how he can take those 2 first-rounders and he can trade them for talent right now. But at the end of the day, Jerry Jones is still the guy making these decisions, right? And he's starting to lose the faith of Cowboy Nation. So I don't think much of the trade from the Cowboys' perspective, because I don't trust the guy who may make those trades or may make those draft picks. From the Packers standpoint, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And you have to start thinking that maybe this is going to take us to the big game.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I was one of those people that I really didn't think much of it. I don't know what Micah Parsons is. And that's the problem I have with Micah Parsons. Is he a linebacker? Is he a D-end? What is he going to really look like in 5 years? Like, I'm not arguing. I think he led the league in pressures. And he's definitely a freak athlete. And he's a damn good football player. But I feel like the Cowboys offered him as much money as they could. I mean, they have a lot of money already tied up in Dak and CeeDee Lamb. And then I guess they had a plan for Bland. And it was like, dude, this is what we can give you because we need to put a team on the field. It's not like they won with Micah Parsons. And I'm not saying like a player like Micah Parsons is like a regular person you can get in every draft. I'm not saying that. But in my opinion, he's not Myles Garrett, right? He's not. I hate to say this. He's not J.J. Watt. He's not. He's not T.J. Watt. Like he's not. He's not Ndamukong Suh. He's just not. Like he's a good player, but at the end of the day, I'm not calling him a tweener. But how can I justify paying him this much money? And I don't know what he is. Like, is he a run stopper? How's he going to do on the goal line? How is he going to impact plays? And like you said, Dallas is not a player away. It's like, I'm going to pay this guy all of this money. And what are we going to do? We're going to come in second. We're going to come in third. We're not going to make the playoffs. Like, how we need a running. We don't have a running back. We just traded for George Pickens. I like Diggs at corner. I like Bland at corner. I think they have something good, but I believe they got Kenny Clark, good defensive tackle. They got 2 draft picks. It's hard to be upset about it. And then if you're Green Bay, right? Do you look at this as, okay, we took Micah Parsons in the first round of next year's draft. That's the way you look at it, right? Because you traded a draft pick for it. It's like, this is what we did. We got that caliber player in the first round of next year's draft, which I don't think there is a player coming out that's going to be that good defensive.
Not even close.
And this is a Packer team that has to play the Lions and throw the ball. They have to play the Bears, who now will be throwing the ball. So you're going to have to be going up against J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson. So it makes sense for you to have this type of pass rusher. He lived in Pennsylvania all his life. He's used to cold weather, so playing in Green Bay is not going to affect him. And if you're Green Bay, you got your Reggie White for the next couple of years. At least that's what you're hoping. I mean, you're concerned with him getting injections in his back. I'm not overly concerned with it. He's still pretty young. He can overcome those things. I really do think that this pushes Green Bay into a different tier and makes them a serious contender. So bravo to Green Bay for pulling this off. And bravo to Dallas for getting this done. I mean, you looked at the situation and he's not practicing and he's talking all this shit. And it's like, I made you a really good offer. And you're just going to pretend like I'm not paying you. And like, we're the Dallas Cowboys. You want to play for the Dallas Cowboys? Or you want to go play in Green Bay? You want to go play in Green Bay? Go play in Green Bay. There's a difference between putting a star on your helmet and putting a cheese head on your helmet. And that's not a knock on the Green Bay franchise because they have a beautiful franchise and they're great. They're not Dallas, though. So I think it's great for both parties, and I wish him luck. He should be fine.
If anything, Jerry Jones did him a solid by trading him to a contender. You have to think about it that way. Like, he really could have.
Yeah, you kind of wonder. You kind of wonder who was calling.
It's a good question, right? You know, you definitely want to. I would definitely like to see.
They said they were working on this deal since the spring. They were trying to work out the details of this. So I've got to imagine that there were other teams involved, and I wonder, you know, what were their offers and what were they thinking.
I would definitely like to see the call logs to see which GMs, which teams actually did, because it would be something if it was like the Niners or the Lions, or because you have to
think of a team that's got money because he wants the extension. You have to think of a team that has the money because that was what was holding it up, is that he wanted to be traded, but then he wanted to sign an extension, and there was a certain dollar figure that he wanted,
which makes Green Bay even more. It makes that even more surprising because, like, it's the town-run team, you know. It's not like the owner with the deep pockets. It's not the Arthur Blanks. It's not the.
But they've paid Jordan Love.
Yeah.
He's paid. They've already paid Jacobs. He's paid. All their receivers are young.
Yeah.
And all their defense, they got rid of their Jair Alexander. So, you know, all their players are young on defense. So they were in position where they could do it.
Definitely. But we are on to the opening of the season as the Eagles take on the aforementioned Cowboys. So that's got us thinking, right? It's already got us thinking about February. It's already got us thinking about the big game.
February.
So, you know what time it is, folks. It is time for the way too early. way too early. Big game picks and MVP picks. Who you got?
Yeah, so I think I have the Broncos facing the Bills in the AFC Championship game, and I've got the Broncos going to the Super Bowl.
Whoa!
And then in the NFC, I have the Rams playing Eagles in the NFC Championship game, and I've got the Rams going to the Super Bowl, and I've got the Rams beating the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Wow!
Stafford retires, and that's all she wrote.
I mean, that's fitting considering the fact that the Rams were 17 seconds away from beating the Eagles last year. Had them.
They had him. Didn't matter. It was snowing. There was all this bullshit was going on. There was one incomplete pass, and that changed the whole dynamic of the game. They had him on the ropes, and they were swinging. And as far as MVP is concerned, I'm not saying it because I drafted him as my quarterback, but I think Jalen Hurts. Puts it on his shoulder this year, and I think he leads the team in touchdown passes, touchdown rushing yards, and just has like an amazing season.
I mean, that's a solid pick as any, right? Jalen Hurts. It's, we talked about, like, is he on the level of Mahomes? He's getting there, and an MVP would definitely cement him even more. So, like, we've done our order ups, like we've made our division picks. It's very clear as far as what we have. So, like, I had the Eagles, Packers, Seahawks, and Bucks in the NFC, and I think they're going to finish in that order. Wild card teams, I'm looking at Lions, Rams, and the Giants sneak in, last team in. AFC, I'm looking at Bills, Ravens, Broncos, and Texans, and then Bengals, Steelers, and Patriots as my wild card teams. Yeah, even with all the nonsense, like, I think the Bengals are gonna, they're going to make the playoffs. That being said, let's go NFC title game first. I think we are going to see, because I have the Eagles slipping a little bit, and it's not because of Jalen Hurts. It's because of the fact that, life happens. The offensive line is a year older. It's more unstable, and I think they could be had this year. Yes, Devontae Smith is good. AJ Brown is good. That defense plays. I think the offensive line is vulnerable. So, that being said, I think we're going to end up in a scenario. We could possibly end up in a scenario where we have an NFC North matchup in the NFC title game. Packers-Lions. At Lambeau.
Packers-Lions.
Packers-Lions at Lambeau.
Okay. So does that mean one of those teams is like the last wild card team? Like,
yeah. So
okay.
The Lions would be one of my last wild card teams.
Got it.
So get on a run. Good things happen. They're a smash mouth physical football team. And I think the Parsons move makes it closer. But I think that the Lions still can fight from under. And I think I'm going to take the Lions in the big game representing the NFC.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
So it's possible.
Who are they beating in the title game?
The Packers at Lambeau. Packers at Lambeau. Jared Goff says, fuck you and your cold weather. I can play.
Wow. Yeah.
I can play. Let's go. Tom did it. There. And so why not? Why not Jared Goff? Why not Jared MF Goff? And for me, as far as the AFC, I got to agree with you. I think it's Broncos Bills.
Whoa,
I think so.
Okay.
It's like, Bo Nix looks really good. That defense, pretty good. Sean Payton, he's got him going. And I think, it's possible. It's definitely possible. They're moving in the right direction. That team is definitely trending in the right direction. I'm starting to come off the Ravens a little bit. The Texans, they're still on the come. I don't think they're there yet. Bengals, Steelers, Patriots, thanks for coming. But
thanks for playing.
Your parting gifts are at the door. So I got the Bills over the Broncos. So you have Bills-Lions in the big game.
Wow, okay.
And shit or get off the pot time for Josh Allen, as far as I'm
MVP.
concerned. I'll get to that in a sec. But I got the Bills over the Lions in the big game. Now, as far as who the MVP
blowout?
is, oof. Last year was an anomaly.
Where is it, New Orleans this year?
I think so. That sounds right. But last year was such an ass whooping that I think it's going to be an extremely close game this year. Like it was that Simpsons meme. Stop! Stop! He's already dead. Like that's what the big game was this past season. Like my God, man, my God, like that was a
Hellfire and brimstone. Here comes game. The carnage.
Oh, Stone Cold. As far as MVP goes, you have a lot of choices, right? And more often than not, they're going to be quarterbacks.
Rock bottom.
Oof. He's got a family. God damn, he's got a family. You got Hurts. You got Love. You have Jared Goff. You have Josh Allen. You have Lamar. Yeah, you have a ton of options. You have a myriad of options as far as who your MVP is. I can't see another position player. I can't see anybody from another position. The MVP at this point is a quarterback award. Sorry, folks. But
for sure.
I gotta say that Hurts is a good pick. I got a feeling. I just have a feeling about Jordan Love this year. I think he takes the next level, and he becomes.
You think there's pressure on him since they got Parsons?
Well, there is more pressure on them to win now. I think they were fine with growth. You make your incremental growths. We both have them winning the division, and that's not that far of a stretch with that team. I think adding Micah Parsons puts some real expectations on this team, that if they're not in the big game, or at least in the title game, it's a failure. But I think Jordan Love is going to have a spectacular year. I think he's going to ball out. And yeah, I can easily see him taking home that MVP trophy. But like we said, it is way, way, way too early to be going with this. But hey, if you feel the need, go place your bets accordingly. Like, go ahead. Like, there's plenty of sports books that'll take that action, and I'm sure you'll find.
I think people would like your action on the Giants. I mean, it sounds like you have them as a playoff team. I think they're over under. It's 5 wins right now. So
yeah, I
you're
think
taking over on that one.
I'm taking over on that. Like, that team has talent, and they finally have a competent quarterback. Like, Indiana Jones was holding this team back. I love that. I love people are calling him Indiana Jones. That's wonderful. But with Russ comes increased expectation. Like, you're not expecting, as a Giants fan, you're not expecting just treading water.
Can I ask why?
Because he's an actual professional quarterback with a pulse, dude.
But even after watching him last year, especially towards the end of last season, you really think he's going to be that much better?
Here's why. Because I've had to sit through Daniel Jones. I had to sit through Drew Lock. I had to sit through Tommy DeVito.
2 years ago, Daniel Jones made the playoffs, and I think he beat a Viking team that was damn good.
Yes, he did. No fault by running.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm just trying to say, like, listen, I think Russ in this system is good, but I don't understand everybody's perception of how much better this team is going to be just because Russ is there. I mean, he's still an older quarterback. He's still in the twilight years. If he was that good, Pittsburgh would have kept him. So, I really do believe the issue came that he couldn't finish the season. So maybe it's that he gets through halfway and he hands it over to Dart, and Dart gets you over the line. But I don't think he's capable of playing 17 games at a high level.
You need him to be, at this point in his career, a game manager. And you have worse guys. I was excited when they brought in Jameis. I was excited when you bring in Russ. I'm starved. As a Giant fan, I'm starved for competent quarterback play.
Yeah.
Just competent. You could be Trent Dilfer. You could be Trent motherfucking Dilfer, and I would be happy. Because you're not screwing up.
Uh-huh.
I can hit a receiver. You can hit a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Please do that without
whatever.
Like, it's got to be more than being able to fill out a football uniform. And he's got an arm. He's got an accurate arm. He has what you need. So I think that even if you have to go to Jameis, even if you have to go to Jackson Dart, that room is so much better than it has been in the past with the Giants. You've had to start Jake Fromm twice. In the last 4 years, you've had to start Jake Fromm.
I like Jake Fromm.
He's selling insurance now.
Georgia guy, right?
Yeah, but now he's that's what you got. Like, he's Jake from State Farm. Literally, he's Jake from State Farm.
Well, that's where Daniel's headed.
Yeah. So, like that old saying, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. Here, in the land of the shitty quarterbacks, the guy who can complete a pass is king. And that's where the Giants are right now.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
All right. Well, moving over to college football. Week 1 is in the books.
Oof.
Arch Manning looked like trash. Clemson got beat by LSU. Notre Dame got beat by Miami. And Alabama certainly did not roll Tide. So, which was the biggest loss of the weekend?
The Tide got rolled. The Tide got rolled by an unranked Florida State team. That's all you need to know.
Life after Nick Saban is not so hot.
Kalen DeBoer, dude, if I'd start working on my resume if I were you.
But it's not his fault, right? I mean, it's not. You're following up a legend. I mean,
yeah, but
before Nick Saban was there, Alabama wasn't really doing shit. He brought it to new heights. his attitude, and remember, that was back when he was paying people when you couldn't pay people, right? I mean,
right.
he had entire defenses going in the NFL draft. I mean, it's ridiculous. Some of the
they had a
teams he put
legitimate
out there.
shot, right? Like there's always that debate about whether an Alabama team could have beaten the worst NFL team. And think about the number of first rounders on that. Yeah, they could have.
I think
They could have.
the more I hear that argument, the more I think it's not true, because like, as good as those athletes are, there's a difference between like grown man strength. I was listening to a podcast where Rasheed Wallace was talking about like his welcome to the NBA moment where he was playing up against Terry Cummings, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna body the shit out of him," and he's like, he tried to move him and he couldn't move him, and he's like, I realized that this guy is like got kids, he drives a minivan, he carries groceries into his house, like there's a difference, man. There's a difference. This is a grown man, and he was going by me, and before I could blink my eye, he was over me, under me, scoring on me, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it takes a while to adjust to that speed, so.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at it, all are not, they're not the best of results, right? Notre Dame lost to a Miami team on, late in the game. You had Clemson,
17-10.
Yeah.
LSU is trash.
Death Valley to Death Valley, the other one. And then a lot of blowouts this weekend. Like, I don't know how people can like be super excited about this. You have like 45-3 and 38-14, 67-10. Valparaiso scored 67. They're not going to score 67 for the rest of the season. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Who's scheduling this? Whose AD is setting this shit up?
Who hired this crew?
The Navy beat VMI 52-7. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? But, Pittsburgh beat Duquesne 61-9. 61-9.
Duquesne, I believe they're the Dukes.
I think so. I mean, because of the unranked nature, I would take Alabama losing, but you can't be too thrilled with Texas, considering the fact that they were the first number one team to lose in week 1 in I think 39 years or some shit like that. It was like, now credit to them, they did schedule Ohio State. It's not like they lost to like Appalachian State like Michigan did that time. So kudos to scheduling strong. But if you had aspirations, you definitely are concerned. If you thought Arch Manning was just going to saunter in and replace Quinn Ewers, yeah, you got another thing coming. There's going to be some growth. There's going to be some growing pains. And if you're an NFL team who thought that Arch Manning is the consensus number one pick after seeing what Matt Patricia's defense did to him, maybe like, I need to see more before I'm all in on Arch at number one. Because a pro style defense ate his ass up.
But he just looked like dog shit. I mean, I don't know if you watched the game, but he looked like dog shit. Like, he was overthrowing guys, lowballing guys. He looked like he didn't know where to go with the ball at times. Yep. And Mel Kiper and Field Yates have come out and defended him. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Oh, fucking Mel Kiper.
I don't want to hear it. You've put this shit too much. You've overhyped him. And that's on you. So I don't want to hear, well, it's he didn't have any preseason reps. This is his first game. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care. He went into Columbus. He should know what that's all about at this point. His name is Arch Manning. He's got the athleticism. He pushed. Quinn Ewers plays last week. He wins that game. Quinn Ewers wins the game. I don't give a fuck. Quinn Ewers wins that game if he played last week. And just
Quinn Ewers might be playing for the Dolphins this year.
Just know, watching it, and everyone was talking about how good of a runner he was. What? Huh? What runner were you looking at? Michael Vick is a good runner. Donovan McNabb is a good runner. This guy, he looks like he's going to get blowed up. He got blowed up out of bounds. Dude, what are you doing? Get your head down. I thought he almost died on one play where he's running along the sideline. Somebody put their helmet right into his chest and knocked him on his ass. What are you doing? What do you think? He's going to two-hand touch you? You're Arch Manning. This is his chance to fucking take a shot at you. get down, son. Like, I in his throwing motion, I am more inclined now to believe that he will be returning to Texas and he will not come out for his senior season. I mean, he will not come to the NFL next year because the guy I saw last week needs work. He needs a lot of work. And I don't really, he didn't look like he was ready. He looked like the situation was too big for him. His eyes were like wide open. Like, whoa, okay. You know,
the eyes, Chico. They never
Columbus is a tough place to play, but you didn't show any poise in the pocket. You never seemed like you had this under control. You seemed like you were trying to fill the game out still in the third quarter.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, you know, you need reps. He absolutely needs reps. He didn't get full first team reps last year. He didn't get a preseason. The only way you're going to learn is by doing, right? The name Manning cannot, it can get you to, it can get your foot in the door, but you have to be able to deliver the goods, because there's a lot of expectation. Like, this whole show, this whole theme of today's show has been expectations, right? The grandson of Arch, the nephew of Peyton, the nephew of Eli.
He's getting paid $6.8 million to play quarterback for Texas this year. Son, you got to do better than 170 yards passing and a touchdown and interception.
Yeah,
sorry,
100%.
You don't get any break. And he's the highest valued college athlete in the country. And what I saw over the weekend was basura.
Completely. Now, the good thing is that this wasn't a bowl game. This wasn't a playoff game. This wasn't a national title game. It was week 1. So there is still plenty of time for him to learn. There's still plenty of time for him to grow. You know, Sarkisian is there. Like, he's a good coach. So we'll definitely see where they go. But speaking of seeing where they're going, dear Jesus, let's start off with Coach Prime. Let's start off with Coach Prime and Colorado. 'Twas not good, right? Lots of expectations post Shador, post Travis Hunter. They went and lost 27-20 to Georgia Tech, got steamrolled at the end, and Coach Prime is fighting with reporters about when to call timeouts. And then you have Bill Belichick, the most heralded and awaited college football coaching debut. Probably since Saban at Alabama, but we'll see about that. 48-14 TCU. At no point was this actually after the first drive, it was close. And then at one point, UNC went, I believe, 2 hours without completing a forward pass. So let's do a little impromptu trip to the classroom and grade Colorado and UNC's performances.
I would give both an F. I mean, the Bill Belichick thing is embarrassing. Like, you had a chance here to really. I mean, you played TCU, which they're not rollovers, but again, your fucking AD scheduled this game,
right?
And I get you had a lot of transfers coming in, but it's more of the attitude. Like, he still. It looks like he's trying to put the Patriot way in place in North Carolina, and that's just not going to work with college kids. It's like, college kids want the accolades, they want the admonishment, they want, you know, their coach to talk about them and how great they played and how good. They don't want to hear, "Oh, we're on to Charlotte." You know, that's not what a college kid wants to hear. We want to talk about, "Oh man, Danny Garcia played well for us tonight. He really kept us in the game." You know, that's what they want to hear. And if you're gonna black and white this thing and be mundane, why would anybody want to go and play for you? And the other thing was, the atmosphere was crazy. Like, they had Petey Pablo there, North Carolina raise up. You had all these people coming to this game. Roy Williams was there.
Aaron Boone
For some fucking reason was there. And at first, that's why I thought they lost, because he put Devin Williams in the game. But it was just like, the whole point of you going to college, I thought, was to show another side of you, showing that you can appeal to college kids and you can have fun at the college level. Like, you look at Dabo Swinney and you look at, Nick Saban's a bad example, but you look at Dabo Swinney and you look at, Sarkisian. These are rah-rah guys because college players feed off of that. You don't have the talent to be this mundane personality to come in and ridicule players and give them a hard time because they were missing assignments. The thing I'm curious about is, like, did you watch your team play all week and really think that they were going to have a chance? Like, you watched your quarterback all week and you're like, all right, we're ready for this game. Like, I always wonder that. Like, at what point you're like, fuck, we're gonna get our doors blown off here. I think it was the most points he ever gave up.
Yeah, it was the most lopsided. Yeah, the most lopsided
and it was the worst
margin.
Opening day in North Carolina football history. And you're also doing this whole Hard Knocks in-season shit, which is also something that's not your pedigree, but, and I get it. I'm giving him a pass because, he's got all new players, but this was a time for you to really flex your coaching prowess. This was your time to show, okay, yeah, I don't need Tom Brady, right? And I don't need the best quarterback or the best tight end or the best receiver. Like, I can coach college kids and I can get W's. Now, what happens, Z, if they get thumped by 40 again this weekend against Charlotte? What happens?
People are going to start
he
asking about that.
I think he has a 10-year contract. So, at what point are you like, Bill, this isn't fucking working out? Like,
well, I think there's a $100,000 buyout. So yeah. I don't remember how much the buyout was, but
I could imagine that if he is, and this is the truth, they were unprepared. They weren't prepared. I was watching TCU run comeback routes with their wide receiver, and the cornerback wasn't even within 5 yards of the receiver on the North Carolina side. It wasn't even there. They were just doing that all day. You guys got no stop. You have no way to stop this rollout comeback. We're just going to do this every time we're fucking in trouble.
You had a special teams return for a touchdown on the opening second half kickoff. You had, oh my God, the TCU running back Barnes just cut through the line and just bolted down the sideline.
The other thing you wonder is Brady's heavily involved with the Raiders. Like, let's say the Raiders get to the Super Bowl within the next 5 years. How does that make Belichick look? Like, at what point do we realize that this was more Tom than it was Bill? And I'm not saying Bill is a bad coach. I'm just saying that his style of coaching it's one way or the highway, and it works when you have the right players that buy in. But you're just going on a list with like Rex Ryan, where it's like, okay, yeah, I have the best 4-6 Bear defense when I have Antonio Cromartie, Darrelle Revis, and Jim Leonard. Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, your defense probably would be really fucking good. But what happens when Leonard is hurt, or Cromartie can't play, or Revis stumped his toe? Then what? We're going to run the same defense? That shit ain't going to work. Victor Cruz up the sideline, 99 yards for a touchdown.
Buster screen, baby. Buster screen.
Yeah. Buster screen, right. Or Pierre Garçon, 70-yard touchdown on a quick slant. Because, you got your scheme. You've got a scheme for what you have and the players you have. You can't just roll something out there and think, okay, this is the way we do things in Foxborough, regardless, and I think you guys can run this scheme. So, no, you've got to look at your player strengths. I mean, the fucking kid didn't complete a pass after 8-12. Come on, man. Seriously? This isn't the Big Ten where you're playing against Texas. You're playing a bullshit TCU. You're playing TCU. You can't complete a pass, man?
I mean, TCU, to be fair, like they were in the national title game a couple of years ago, but now
no players are left from that team.
No, that's true, but the thing is that they're constantly in it. They're constantly in the mix. So
you had
it's not
all spring to prepare for this game, and you scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You gave up 40. What was the halftime conversation? What adjustments were made? What did you guys talk about?
Well, you got to figure that Gio Lopez has seen his last burn.
You would think so, right?
You would think so.
But that's the whole thing, is like, if you weren't picking up on these eyes in practice, this guy's completing passes in practice. You can't tell me that last night or 2 nights ago was the first time you've seen him throw the ball like dog shit, missing receivers and making wrong decisions.
TCU was living in their backfield. Like, there was nothing special.
This is true. That's true.
Yeah, true. But that just underscores everything, man. Like, UNC was just manhandled. Like, it's one thing for Colorado to get beat. Colorado got beat, right? Quarterback, minute 7, 45-yard touchdown. Shit happens, right? So I'm willing to give Dion a D-. I'm willing to go slightly above F because you were in position to win and your defense failed you yet again. So F, it's beyond redeemable for Belichick. If they stop the game after the first drive, okay, awesome. You look great. Freddie Kitchens, you need to learn how to friggin' call some plays, dude.
That was also funny. I found out that he was their offensive coordinator. That's fucking hilarious.
Dude, we saw Freddie Kitchens with the Giants. He's not exactly what you call a creative mind offensively. And then Steve Belichick, like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, I mean, we thought this was like some nepotism plan to like have you become the head coach eventually. Dude, that was an abysmal performance.
Dude.
It's absolutely dog shit all the way around. The dude did not complete a pass for 2.5 hours. Like, you know, and it was all this hoopla, right? You had all this hoopla about, like, MJ is there, and we have Coach Roy Williams was there, and Aaron Boone was there, and you had all of these. It became such a place to be. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, all of a sudden became this meeting spot. Like, you got your asses handed to you. You got rightfully served that humble pie. You can't stop the run. Could not stop the run. You could not keep TCU out of your backfield. So offensive line is a problem. There's a lot for Coach Belichick to work on. Now, he did have 70 new recruits come in, which is absurd. 70 new faces came in. And you figure, okay, give him some time to gel. Sure. Right. It makes sense. But to your point, this isn't like the first time they met each other. It's not like it was a weekend softball game where they were just like meeting for the first time. Like, you recruited these guys. They went through camp. Like, they went through off season, most likely together. At least you think so. And this is what it is. No. Now, the one thing about Belichick is that he's trying to pull the Calipari in that he's like, I'm NFLU. Kind of like when Calipari said, you come to Kentucky, this is NBAU. Like, that's going to keep the recruiting open. But you know what? You got to win. If that's your sales pitch and you don't win, they're not coming. I'm sorry, they're not. They're gonna think you're a relic of a bygone era. So back to the drawing board. You're on to the next one, Belichick's, and you know, just hopefully you don't lay a stinker like you did last week.
Step outside of your safe area and make a statement without saying much with FCK Clout Lifestyle Apparel. Embrace the colorful chaos and stay emotionally regulated in their graphic tees, hoodies, snapbacks, accessories, and more. Go to fckclout.com today and check out current season and past season merchandise for men and women. Get it while you can. That's fckclout.com. Check them out today. fckclout.com.
Now we're moving on from stinkers and we're going on to the September sprint in baseball, which is heating up. Heating up. So who's in, who's out by the end of the month?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking with the way it is right now. I don't really see anybody making a real push. I see New York and Boston holding on to their spots and Seattle getting in. And then also in the National League, I see Chicago, the Padres, and the Mets. You know, it's interesting enough that, you know, more than half of Major League Baseball is over 500 or only a couple of games under 500, which is pretty impressive. There's only a handful of teams that have really had, like, pretty terrible seasons. I guess it's something Rob can hang his hat on, but, you know, we're still in September, and you've got, you know, some pointless games going on, and I guess it's, you know, it's good for, I guess, the fan if you like the Athletics and the Marlins and shit. But but yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody making a run. Like, I don't see the Reds like fucking making the playoffs. I don't see the Rangers or the Royals all of a sudden fucking turning it on and blowing people away. Like, it is what it is, and you know, you get into a situation where it could backfire on the Mets this year. I mean, you could be a team that gets in the wild card, and you wind up playing a team that's fucking hot, and then you're gone. And this whole thing was for naught. I watched 162 games. My team was in the wild card, and I got beat in a fucking 3-game series to some bullshit team. Like, that could totally happen to the Mets. Just like they did it to the Brewers last year.
Well, the way things are going to end this year, the way it's looking, is that if the season ended today, let's use that old chestnut. The Mets would draw the Dodgers in the first round. It would be Mets-Dodgers in the wild card. So,
and all 3 games are played in LA, right?
Yeah. So that's anything's possible because the Dodgers are having a relatively down year for them, right? 78 and 61 is not a down year by any stretch of the imagination, but for the Dodgers with their payroll and their expectations, they're supposed to be where the Brewers are, right? They're supposed to be 85 and 54. They're supposed to be that team. But the Giants are starting to heat up a little bit. They'll probably jump the Reds, but I don't see them making a push to take the Mets out of that third wild card spot. Everybody else is pretty much entrenched. The Cubs are 5.5 up. The Padres are 1 up on the Mets. So, like, they're in 76 wins. There's a potential NL West race. So they could flip-flop Padres and Dodgers. I could see that. Both of them are in. Both of them are going to be in. I could see a world. I think we could see a world where the Padres narrowly beat out the Dodgers at the end. I think that's possible. Brewers are fine. Phillies are fine. I think the Mets hold on, and I think the offense is going to carry them across the finish line. And hopefully Nolan McLean and Jonah Tong, and I believe Brandon Sproat is probably going to come up this weekend. The young guys are going to be the guys that carry them through. Because Senga, off. He's throwing fucking meatballs up there. Minaya can't get out of the 4th inning. But maybe he needs to be in the bullpen as a long relief. Like, maybe that's his role in the playoffs. Because 3 innings... great. He's fine for 3 innings. That's all. No more. And Ryan Helsley, shoot this guy into the fucking sun. Right into the sun. He's given up more runs now in 11 innings as a Met than he did in all of his outings as a Cardinal. He's thrown 11 innings, he's given up 14 fucking runs. Right to the fucking sun with Ryan Helsley. The saving grace is that it didn't cost you that much. So, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming, son of a bitch. And keep your stupid bullshit AC/DC Hell's Bells entrance. I saw a great comment on that today. It's like, when you're coming in the 5th inning, you shouldn't be using that entrance. The lights go out, and the bells, and the whistles, and the dong. Like, no. Not for a 5th inning mop-up guy. Nah, fuck that. Absolutely that. Fuck that. Now let's turn our attention to the American League. We're pretty much, Yankees and Red Sox are tied. I can see the Yankees... I could see the Yankees getting overtaken by the Red Sox. It only takes... they have a series coming up, right? The Yankees have a series with the Tigers.
They have a lot of games coming up.
They have a lot coming up. So they're going to decide their fate. The Blue Jays can be had in the division. So there's a potential where all 3 of those teams have a shot to win the division. And whoever's hottest at the end. Tigers are the Tigers. They're holding on strong. They're a game up. They have one more win, but a lower winning percentage than the Blue Jays. Astros are fine. The Astros are 3 up on the Mariners. They're starting to pull away in the division. The only team that could potentially make a run, in my opinion, that can knock out the Mariners is the Rangers.
That's lost the only Evaldi.
Evaldi's out, but they still have a healthy DeGrom for once. But appreciate this. Appreciate this while you can. A healthy Jacob DeGrom. Wow. It's like an albino tiger in the wild. So, they have a shot. Is it likely? No. I think the Mariners' rotation is much better. I think Cal Raleigh, they're going to bend over backwards to give him the MVP. I really think so. Suarez is playing well. So I think the teams in stay the same. The order is going to change. But we're in store for a hell of a ride coming up, because now everybody's just going to beat each other up to get there. And that's what you want. That's what you want September baseball to be. You don't want it to be like a bunch of blowouts where you see the kids. September baseball was some of the worst fucking baseball because people would just bring up their entire 40-man roster, and now you're just throwing this kid who had a good year at AAA, you're just putting him out there as a reward. Like, here you go. Way to go, kid. Now, by decreasing the number of call-ups you can make to 28, you got some intrigue. Who are you calling up, right? How are you going to make your team better strategically? Dare I say, like, this part, you gave Manfred kudos before. I'm giving Manfred kudos for this part. Like, this rule change, taking it down from bringing 40 guys up to 20, just 2. Like, I'm here. Good. Let's make September baseball mean something again. And I think that Rob actually did. But buckle up, get ready, because things are starting to shake out, and then the real season begins.
When owning a home, it's important to have heating and cooling professional available when things go wrong. Air Care Technicians is a veteran-owned HVAC company servicing the Westchester area. They are licensed to service, repair, maintenance, and replace all HVAC units. If your unit is not running properly, or you would like to improve the air quality in your home, contact Air Care Technicians for a free quote. They offer same-day and emergency services for all of your needs. You can reach them at 914-315-1547. Air Care Technicians, 914-315-1547. 315-1547.
It's the In Route, where friends of the show get a special segment with us. Want to be part of the action? Want to be the newest member of the In Crowd? Well, you know what to do. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, or slide in our DMs on IG at FadeRoutePodcast, or drop us a line on X at FadeRouteDNZ, and you could be next.
Joining us on the In Route today, we have everyone's favorite bartender from the Tubby Hook Tavern and our resident Giant fan, Danny Butler. Thanks for coming on, Danny.
Thanks for having me, guys. How's everything? How you been?
Fantastic. We are ready to start NFL season, and we're going to start you off with the New York Football Giants. They've listed Jackson Dart as their backup quarterback behind Russell Wilson. Jameis Winston will be the third string, and your favorite Tommy Cutlets is no longer on the Giants. The Giants' opening slate is pretty brutal, Danny, so paint me the scenario where Jackson Dart becomes the starter for this team.
Well, hopefully we see a lot of Jackson Dart in blowout wins, but something tells me that's not going to happen. I could see a few blowout losses where he takes the reins.
You don't believe in the defense?
Oh, no, I do. I do. I'm just saying that. I just being pessimistic. I think there'd be more blowout. If there's going to be a blowout, it'd be a loss than a win. But that being said, no, I do have a lot of faith in the defense. I actually think the defense can be special. We all know about the pass rush. The linebackers are still solid with McFadden and Okereke. And I think they improved the secondary enough with Paulson Adebo. I know he's coming off an injury, but you move Banks, who's kind of struggled. Maybe you take the pressure off him. I know a lot of people around the organization are still not happy with him. But he's got Drew Phillips, who out of the slot last year was great. He looks like he's going to be a player, a third-round pick. That's one Shane really knocked out of the park. And Tyler Nubin coming into his second year, I like. And I've always loved Javon Holland. I know after he took the money he came here, you heard a lot of people in Miami saying he lost a step, but I don't know if that was sour grapes or what. But, I think Russ doesn't really excite anybody at this point. But I think if you put Russ on that team last year, because we got no quarterback play whatsoever, it was awful. I think you probably get 2 or 3 more wins last year. Now, 5 or 6 wins doesn't excite you, but it's a lot better than 3. And I think we've improved the team enough to get another 2 or 3 wins out there. So if you're talking 7, 8, 9 wins, like I know you said, the schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. But if you could, opening up in Washington is tough. But I could see Washington just taking a little step back. Daniels is going to be a great quarterback back, but maybe he gets a little bit of a sophomore slump or gets off to a slow start. Maybe you steal one there. Then you go turn around in Dallas. Dallas, I think, is going to be in disarray, even though they've had our number for the last, seems like 10 years, where they beat up on us. Trading Parsons and everything. I think they're a little bit of disarray. Then you got home against the Chiefs. Now, you don't want to play the Chiefs, but if you are going to play them, you want to do it early in the year where sometimes they struggle. Home against the Chargers is another tough one. And then you got in New Orleans. If they could ever find a way to just be 2-3 and playing good football, I think you got a lot to be excited for. And that being said, back to the original question, because I know I went on a tangent there. If I had to draw it up, I would say the Giants win 7, 8 games. Maybe late in the year they get eliminated. You might see Dart thrown in situations here or there. And I would say maybe in week 16, 17, 18, when the Giants are eliminated, then you put Dart in, and then see, you could see him earlier. And also, I know Winston is the number 3, but let's say if something happens to Russ early on, let's say we're 1-1, 2-2, and Russ goes down, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Jameis in for a game or two just to see what's going on, because that'd be a lot of pressure to put on Dart. But if I had to guess, I would say you see Dart around week 16.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, the Baltimore Ravens, they opened up the season in Buffalo, and they'll likely need to beat Buffalo in January if they're going to make it to the playoffs. So if the Ravens falter in the playoffs this year again, are they becoming the NFL's version of James Harden and the Houston Rockets?
Yeah, a little bit. Lamar, to me, we know how great he is, but he's a great player, and I think he's a good quarterback. Because I think too many times in the game, he'll make 3 plays where you're like, oh my God, how did he do that? but then he'll make 2 or 3 routine throws that are nowhere near, and you're like, wait, this guy's an MVP?
Yeah.
And actually, he didn't play terrible in the playoff game last year. It was actually Mark Andrews who really had the worst game of his life. But, Andrews has been making, Jackson look good for a long time now. But also, you got to, the pressure's on Josh Allen this year, too. I mean, one of these two, if the Ravens or the Bills don't go to the Super Bowl this year, I mean, it's a little ridiculous. How many times are you just going to roll over for the Chiefs,
Seriously. And the thing is, with Lamar, it's, I've been on the sideline for his games and I've heard players say it. It's his speed. He is so fast, and you think you got him, and then all of a sudden, you don't even see him anymore. In a blink of an eye, he's upfield. He's got a quick release. So, yeah, I do think he's a very talented athlete. But at the end of the day, he may just be an average quarterback.
Right, and a lot of times because of his legs, he keeps plays alive, and as he's gotten older, he does look more downfield, which is good. And he hits guys on a crazy play, but guys are wide open because the defense is exhausted you can't cover guys for that long,
Well, that's the thing is, like I said, I've been on the sidelines for it, and you got guys coming off the field and they can't breathe. They can't, trying to pass rush this guy for 5 and 7 seconds and then chasing him downfield, and then it's like, I need oxygen, I need water, I'm going to throw up. I can't, it's unbelievable, his athleticism. But yeah, I think you're right. I think if neither one of those teams get to the Super Bowl this year, I mean, you got to start questioning how great really are they. I mean, I've always compared Josh Allen to John Elway. I do believe that later in his career he'll win a few. I don't really think he's got it in him to do it right now, just because he doesn't. To me, offensively, he doesn't have the weapons around him that would really benefit him. I don't really think he has a true number one receiver. His running back is James Cook, who just had an outlier last year, but he's not going to do that again. And they're a defensive team. I mean, when you really think about it, their coach Sean McDermott is a defensive guy. I would expect more from the Ravens because they do play both phases of the football. I do think they have talent on both sides. I mean, they have Derrick Henry, who's a year older. They have Mark Andrews. They drafted their wide receiver. They have Zay Flowers. So there's no excuses. But you touched on Micah Parsons a little bit in the Dallas Cowboys. Micah will not be chasing down giant quarterbacks any longer as Dallas has moved on from their young pass rusher, and they sent him to the Green Bay Packers. So what did you think of the move?
When Parsons first was holding out, guys say that all the time. You really don't know if they mean it or not. But I guess it was evident that he meant it, because otherwise the Cowboys would have dealt him. I'm a little surprised they didn't do it because the Cowboys, in their mind anyway, they're a win-now team. I don't think anybody other than them and their delusional fans think that. But so I was a little surprised that they didn't, even, before the draft, to make this move, because he had 2 first-round picks, and the D tackle's a good player, but it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you till next. Yeah, he's a very good player, but he's not the 2 first-round picks aren't going to help you till next year and the year after, and. People are giving Jerry Jones a hard time. I understand it, but that was a big contract, $120 million guaranteed for, you don't see that on the defensive end.
I just say this, Danny. I say, what is he? Is he a linebacker? Is he a D end? What is he? And how can I justify spending this much money on this guy where I really don't know what he is? And I'm not diminishing his talent. I think he led the NFL in pressures, which is amazing and it's fantastic. But if I'm Dallas, I'm looking at my team and realizing we're not going to win because of him. We need other areas to address, So I was fine with the move. I didn't really think much of it. I mean, Jerry usually pays the guys he wants. He paid Zeke, he paid Dak, he paid CD. He paid those guys. He
just paid Deron Bland.
He played Deron Bland, and I think Deron Bland's a great player. I think
he's a good player. I mean, that's a good football move. It's going to drive Cowboy fans crazy after you don't give Parsons the money and you sign a quarterback. But like you said, they signed Dak and they signed CD Lamb. There's not enough money to go around. You can't have 3 players making 50% of your salary cap.
I can't justify it. And from what I understand, I mean, I don't remember the numbers. I heard he did give him a decent offer. It wasn't like the guy was going to be poor. And I realize he has certain standards that he wants to live up to, and he has certain things that he wants, and he's allowed to go for that and get that. But it's not like you won. It's not like you were close to winning. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not.
No, he's not.
I hate to say this, but he's not J.J. Watt. He's not T.J. Watt. I mean, he's good.
It's not even
but
Derek Watt.
He's. I mean, just I really didn't have a problem with the move, and I can understand how he's holding out. He's in practice, and you're like, this motherfucker. You know, you just look at it and it's like, this motherfucker.
Well, I kind of, as a Giant fan, listen, I'm glad he's gone because you asked what he was. Against the Giants, he's Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White put together. But he doesn't get to play the Giants more than, well, now he doesn't get to play them at all. But
like, is he a run stopper? I don't think I wouldn't worry about him too much in the run game. He gets after the passer, 100%.
Right, no, he's a freak athlete, but also, like, you got to remember, he's kind of a head case. Like, he's on the podcast every day. He's always talking about something. There's always a story with him, and most of the time it's not about what happened on the field on Sunday. Right. It's about his reaction to what happened.
And I look around the league, and I look at these other defensive players, and I'm like, I mean, are you Patrick Surtain III? I mean, that guy, he controls the game. You can't throw over there.
He's Draymond Green. He's the football version of Draymond Green. Like,
I think he's better than that.
I mean, from a hot take standpoint, this is what Draymond Green has become. He's become Mr. Hot Take. Same idea. I mean, I mean, you can't really compare the two, but I mean, we're talking about this, right? And they paid Deron Bland, they paid CD Lamb. Like, this team isn't going anywhere. So at what point are they cutting bait? When are they getting rid of guys like Dak? When is Milton going to get his shot?
Well, I think one of the reporters actually asked Jerry Jones, why did this fall apart? Why weren't you able to get a big deal done for him? And he's like, ask Dak how we got a big deal done. Ask CD how we got a big deal done. It's just like, yeah, I kind of get it, Jerry. Like, it's not like you were paying him peanuts. He was making decent money, and you gave him a fair offer. You want to be a Cowboy? Do you want to be a Cowboy? This is how you're going to be a Cowboy. You want to go play in Green Bay? You want to go play in 20-degree weather? You want to go play in 14-degree weather? You want to go play in the NFC North? Go for it, dude. So that's the way I felt about it.
Yeah, but you know what? He got his money, and look, he went to Penn State. I don't think he's that averse to the cold. I mean, it's not playing in Dallas Stadium every 8 times a season.
That's what I'm trying. What I'm trying to say, Danny. There's a difference between putting on the Dallas Star and putting on the Cheesehead, right? I mean, it's different. I'm not taking anything away from the Green Bay franchise. They're one of the best franchises in the NFL. They're not Dallas.
They're not.
They're not
but
Dallas.
Maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs to go to a smaller market where they're not asking. That his opinion's not sought after all the time.
Kind of reminds me of Jared Allen. He danced around, remember, with the Vikings and the Chiefs. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of that. I think Frank Clark also played some games. He was in Seattle, and then he went to Kansas City. Yeah, that's kind of remind me of. I think. Yeah. I'm not like I said, I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's a phenomenal player. But if I'm looking at Micah Parsons, I'm looking at, what are you? Are you a linebacker? Are you a run stopper? Are you just a pass rusher? Like, what do you look like in 5 years? What are you going to look like at the end of this deal? I know what Myles Garrett's going to be. I know what J.J. Watt was going to be. I don't know what you're going to be. And I can't justify giving you more money than anybody, making you one of the highest paid players in the league.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And then on top of that, he has an injection in his back to try and play on Sunday. Like, right. That sounds a little suspect. I mean, let me sign the contract and then we'll get this taken care of. I don't know. That seems a little bit suspect. If I'm the Packers, I'm like.
But apparently this trade, they were talking about this trade since the spring. It wasn't like something that just came out of nowhere. They were just kind of working out the details, and I think he wanted to make sure that he was going to sign the Packers for the extension that he wanted.
Yeah, and you got to figure that puts the Packers right up there at the top in terms of playoff contention. But
how could they not be?
Right, the season kicks off tomorrow. Like, we have our picks. We got our picks for the big game coming up. We got our playoff picks. Who do you got, Danny? Who do you have in the big game?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out which team I hate more, and it goes back and forth. Recently, it's been the Eagles because obviously they won, and watching Saquon do what he did last year was kind of a bad dream. Although he did win me a fantasy league, so that was my only saving grace.
Boom.
But I figured either I put the whammy on him and he'd have a bad year, or through my suffering, I could actually get a good fantasy team for a change, which that happened. But I could see the Eagles having a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. It's hard not to, even though they're still probably the most talented team in the league. I just don't think the hangover starts tomorrow. I think being at home in front of the crowd against the hated Cowboys, who are, even if some guys in the locker room are glad they got rid of Parsons, it still created a little bit of a circus. So I see the Eagles going out and what's the line? Is the line 6.5, 7?
I think it's 7.
7. I could see the Eagles, winning that game by like about 10.
Wow.
But
I mean, that sounds about right. I mean,
I think it's going to be a blowout.
The one thing that's going to
8.5, Danny.
8.5.
Okay.
That's a lot of points, but I could still, I would, gun to my head, I'm not betting, but gun to my head, I would say the Eagles cover.
I just don't know how you're going to stop Jalen Brown and Devonta Smith and Saquon. How are you stopping them? What's the plan? Like, you going to die by the pass or you going to die by the run? How are you going to die? And I don't know.
And for the last couple of years, I was saying you got to put the onus and make Jalen Hurts beat you, and he did. He did that in the Super Bowl,
Right. So I think it's a blowout. I think they throw up 40 on them, embarrass the shit out of them. I don't believe in Brian Schottenheimer. I don't believe in their offense. I think the Eagles have brought back almost their entire defense, and I just think it's going to be a problem from the word go.
The one thing that concerns me though is that they are missing 2 key pieces of their offensive line. So 3 if you count Micah Parsons. So, that's something that is going to give you pause. And, like the Super Bowl hangover is real. I think that you're definitely onto something there. But, I'm kind of hung over on the Eagles. I'm hung over on the Chiefs, too, to be perfectly honest with you. Like that's one of those things that, I for one am, I'm ready for some fresh blood up there. Like I'm kind of
100%.
I'm kind of done with the Chiefs at this point, and fuck the Eagles. Like they're just plain and simple. As a Giant fan, fuck the Eagles. Sorry,
Absolutely.
love and respect, but fuck you guys.
Not a lot of love and very little respect.
So over to the Diamond as the Yankees beat the Astros last night, and
who was his teams? Who was his 2 teams?
Oh yeah, who do you got? You didn't leave us your super big game teams.
Yeah.
Oh, Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say the Bills finally get over the hump, and I hate to say it, but the Eagles are the most talented team. But God, I hope not.
Oh wow! So Northeast Super Bowl.
Interesting. I mean, if not now, when for Josh Allen? You're like you said. So
yeah, exactly.
So 100% on that. But the Yankees beat the Astros last night, and that was a little bit of controversy, and maybe a little bit of teammate on teammate bullshit. Yeah. So Framber Valdez gave a grand slam to Grisham, and the catcher appeared to be telling him to step off, and he just, I'm throwing it. But here we go, and then boom, it happened. And then the next pitch, he appeared to intentionally cross up his catcher. So is that a dick move on Valdez's part, or an understandable level of frustration?
No, I understand the frustration, but that's beyond a dick move. That's a scumbag move. And when it happened live, I was kind of still celebrating the grand slam. So I didn't really, I saw it live, but I didn't really think much. But watching the replays, it was 100% on purpose, because he just turned around and it's like when you throw at a hitter, and you hit him on purpose, you turn around and you don't even look at him. And that's what he did to his catcher. If you're frustrated, I understand that. You want to yell and curse at your catcher. As a catcher, I'd rather him do that and show me up than actually try to physically hurt me and embarrass me. And he had time. The catcher wanted to step off, and Valdez had time to step. He didn't start his windup for like another 2 seconds. So if you're the pitcher, you want to throw the ball, you got to make the pitch.
How does AJ Przinsky handle that?
Oh yeah,
you
motherfucker! Does he walk
motherfucker!
out to the mound and punch him in the face? Does he take the ball and just throw it right back at him? Because as soon as he threw it, he turned around and walked back to the mound.
Yeah,
is AJ just taking it and hit him in the head with it? Does he tackle him into the dugout? That's what I thought about. I was like, how is AJ Przinsky going to handle that shit?
Yeah, I would have fired. I think he would have fired the ball back at him, right? And then maybe pull the Kevin Costner and Bull Durham and tell the batter where the next one's going, and serve him up a meatball. You want to embarrass me, I'm going to embarrass you right back.
Right. And then we're going to take care of this in the dugout. And I think the reports are that there was a big argument and a big meeting afterwards in the clubhouse, and Valdez was trying to say he didn't do it on purpose, and he wouldn't even address the situation. It's like, dude, man up, man up. And you're big league in that catcher, and that's the problem I have with the whole situation. Because you wouldn't have done that to like a Maldonado. You wouldn't have done that to Molina. You wouldn't have done that to any of those guys. And you definitely wouldn't have done it to Brzezinski because he'd have been right after you. You wouldn't have done it to Buster Posey. I don't even know.
No.
I wonder how Buster Posey would handle it because he's more of a gentleman, but I'm sure he'd been pissed off about it. He'd have broke his hand. Broke his hand.
Yeah, really could have. And I give the catcher credit at least, like, because he came out and said, "Oh, we're all on the same page. We're all good." Like, you know,
he's a pro. He's a pro.
He could start a problem if he wanted to, but he knows better.
Yeah, he's a pro.
Especially since he's a rookie. Get the hell out of here.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like, why would you do that to him? Like, don't be listen, shit happens. I mean, he tried to change it. It's not like it's the World Series, dude. I know you want to win this game, and I know you're frustrated, but there's other ways to take out your frustration. You can do that when you get back in the dugout. You can call him out to the mound and chew him out. Like, throw a fastball like that, and you could see, like, in the moment, the catcher was so, like, surprised at what happened. Like, he didn't even know what to do. He was just like, come on, man. Like, you really going to do that to me right now?
It was a piece of shit move.
Yeah, I get you want to kind of keep things in-house and keep continuity going, but Joe Espada and the front office of the Astros, they have to at least find the guy. At the very least, find Framber Valdez. If not, skip a start or something like, something of that nature. Because, you can't, like you said, you can't be doing that stuff in the middle of a pennant race.
Right.
So it's not like it's the last game of the season. You're the White Sox. Like, you're in this thing, and you need to be all on the same page as you're chasing down the pennant and maybe even a World Series. But we'll get you out of here on this one. And despite the Yankees' ups and downs this year, they surprisingly have the second best run differential in the league. They're at a plus 140. So are you a skeptic of the Yankees' postseason aspirations, or do you think they can make a serious run this year?
I mean, I think they can make a run, but I'm skeptical about how far it could be. Because, like you said, the run differential, but we've been doing this for years now, where it's home run or nothing. We beat up on the bad pitching, and we'll get these 10, 12, 13 run games, 5, 6, 7 home runs, and we look like world beaters. But we're poorly constructed, especially now with Judge with the injury. Like, you have him or Stanton that really can't play the outfield. One of them's got to play. You try and Ben Rice at catcher, and he's done a pretty decent job, but and we're just a stupid team. It's been the same story. Base, throwing to the wrong base running, errors, and Stanton just crushed one as I'm talking.
Nice.
Wow, that had to go 480 feet. But I think they'll probably get hot, and I like Rodon's had a very good year. Sometimes he's a little iffy in a big spot. Fried, who was amazing and kind of struggled a little bit middle of the season, but I think that blister really did affect him. And now his last 3 starts have been lights out. Cam Schlittler's been fantastic. He looks like maybe now your third option. Talking about all the great young pitching in New York now between, him and McClain for the Mets. And so, but I think, back to the question, I can see the Yankees getting hot. The AL's not that great. And we probably, we'll either lose in the ALCS or lose in the World Series again, but we'll do enough to bring Cashman and Boone back, and we'll probably be having the same conversation this time last year.
I mean, we might be beating a dead horse here, but, the Dodgers exposed them last year in the World Series for having a lack of fundamentals. Like, how do you... Like, you can't really guarantee that that lack of fundamentals isn't going to show up at the worst possible time. How many times are you going to see Anthony Volpe out there? And they had an opportunity to address it. Like, IKF... Yes, he's not the sexiest pick, but as a defensive replacement, you can do worse. And he got claimed by the Blue Jays. So that's something that, I think they had an opportunity to kind of work on it, and they kind of blew it. But the Yankees are in a unique position because they have some guys knocking down the door of a 30-homer season. Grisham, you have Jazz. I think Austin Wells might have an outside shot. Yeah. Like, you have a bunch of guys on this team. I mean, you said homer or nothing. You were absolutely right on that. But, I mean, outside of Tarek Skubal, who is shutting them down in the American League?
Yeah, no, 100%. So I could see us, I mean, 2 weeks ago I said we wouldn't win the division, but what are we, only 2.5 out now?
Yeah.
We got 3 against the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays have had our number because, like you said, the Dodgers did. the Blue Jays do that. They put the pressure on, especially on the base pass. Take the extra base and make the Yankees make the correct play. And 9 out of 10 times we don't do it. But so hopefully we could, we got 3 against the Blue Jays. If we can win the division, and even if we go in as a wild card, I wouldn't be scared in the wild card round or the division round. I don't think it's the league championship series where I'd really start to worry, and that's probably where our glaring weaknesses will begin to show, because that's when they usually do.
Yeah, I mean, do you think this team can possibly push a Tiger team? Because realistically, I think that's probably who they would face in when all things are equal. That's who they would probably face in the ALCS.
Yeah, I mean, the Tigers are a very good young team. They might be a year away from really being serious contenders, but like you said, if they don't play the Yankees, I mean, Tigers should have an easy road to the World Series too. I just think you got guys like Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green. They're great hitters, but they've struggled so much against lefties that if you could throw Rodon and Fried, 4 times against them, I think we'd be able to. I actually think the Tigers, I think that would be a pretty good matchup for the Yankees. But we'll see if we get there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Got to get that far. But, our favorite bartender, your favorite bartender, Danny Butler, thank you for joining us today on the In Crowd. What do you guys have coming up at Tubby?
Things have been going great at Tubby. We got trivia on Tuesdays, karaoke on Thursdays, always a great time. Saturday, Sunday brunch. We just started. We're going to break out the football menu tomorrow.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. Great place to watch a game. Great atmosphere. So come on down. 4946 Broadway, right off of West 207th Street. So stop by.
Absolutely. And if you want to be a member of the In Crowd, if you want to be a guest on the In Route, hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com, slide in our DMs on IG at Faderoute Podcast, and drop us a line on X at FadeRouteDNZ, and you could be next. Danny Butler, thank you for joining us, brother, and we will definitely talk soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me. God bless.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today and check out our releases in apparel, accessories, drinkware, and more. Ever wanted an Alleged Superstar t-shirt? We got those. You want some yoga pants? We got those too. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of exciting collaborations and new products on the way. But check out what we have now at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. Who's the best of the worst this week in sports? The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award.
All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ and our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast, and you vote. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted ass trophy. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D?
I don't.
The New York Yankees.
Studs.
Losing 3 out of 4 to the Red Sox will do that for you. But that was last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right, so first up, I've got Framber Valdez, pitcher on Houston Astros. He's in his windup. He's getting ready to deliver the ball. The catcher tries to stop him. He decides to throw it anyway, and then it's grand slam Trent Grisham. The very next pitch, it looks like the catcher calls for a speed pitch, and Valdez fires it in there, crossing up the catcher and almost hurting him to the point where he looked at him like, "What are you doing?" It's like, you guys are supposed to be teammates. If you're upset about what just happened, let's go talk about it in the dugout. Don't try to hurt me here on the field. He's lucky he wasn't AJ Przinsky back there. Framber Valdez, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, I've got Jameis Winston, former first-round pick, Heisman winner, will be the 3rd-string quarterback on the New York Football Giants this year, behind Russell Westbrook and behind rookie Jackson Dart. You're supposed to be the future, and you just You're just not that good, man. Jameis Winston, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And last but not least, Arch Manning. Arch Manning, the nephew of Peyton and Eli, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, grandson of Archie. Looked very pedestrian in his first college start in Columbus as he led the Texas Longhorns to a 7-14 loss. 17 of 30, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Z, that's what $6.8 million buys you in the NCAA football league. Arch Manning, you are my alleged superstar of the week. What do you got, Z?
$6.8 million. There's really no incentive for him to come out either. Like, why should he?
He's made more money this year than I have in my whole lifetime.
And yeah, he looked like absolute crap. So I'm going to start with Yelena Ostapenko.
Yeah, get him.
Lost to Taylor Townsend at the U.S. Open, but didn't like the way she lost to Taylor Townsend at the U.S. Open. In a hot mic moment.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, you have no class, you have no education. Like, wait till you get outside of the United States, to paraphrase what Miss Ostapenko said. Now, she has come out and apologized, citing the fact that English is not her first language, and she might have been misinterpreted. It's very hard to misinterpret. You have no class, you have no education, and you wait till you get outside the United States. But, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like, I can't. Like, that stretches the imagination. So, I'm going to say that was pretty classless on your part instead. Yelena Ostapenko, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Number 2, Inter Miami / Luis Suarez. MLS MX Leagues Cup final. Handily beaten by the Seattle Sounders 3-0. And yeah, Inter Miami, bunch of sore losers. Whether it's Busquets throwing a little jab to one of the Sounders players, to Luis Suarez spitting on a security guard. Bad look. Bad look for the MLS's supposed chosen team. You're 6th in the standings right now. It's not what you drew up. If you're David Beckham. If you're Sir Bex, this is not what you drew up when you brought in Suarez and Jordi Alba and Lionel Messi and Sergio Busquets and Rodrigo de Paul. Right? You brought in big names, big time aspirations. You're floundering in the middle. You have nothing. You have no silverware. And now you're starting fights. Inter Miami / Luis Suarez, you are my alleged superstar of the week. And then number 3, Northwestern. This one hits a little close to home because of the Hurricane Katrina tribute that I believe it was Tulane was intending to do. They wanted to wear their whites in honor of the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And yeah, no, Northwestern said no, we're not going to do that. Denied. Tribute denied. So you know what? Karma came and bit you in the ass. 23-3 Green Wave. Good for you, Tulane. Good for you. Northwestern, bad look. Bad look. You are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ. Go to our Instagram poll at FadeRoutePodcast and vote. And vote, and vote, and vote. And for our nominees.
You're better than that. Just do better. just do better.
This has been The Fade Route with D&Z. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So until next time, stay fade, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review, rate us 5 stars, turn on subscription notifications, and share on social media. Tell your friends and spread the word.